Hey, it's Joel. This right here is the Furlingtech YAN, a 3D printer that looks suspiciously like the Kodama Obsidian. There's good reasons for that. It can print really well, it can also fail really well, and we're gonna talk about it right here on 3D Printing Nerd. Welcome back. You'll have to excuse any sniffles or whatever. It's allergy season here in the Pacific Northwest and the hay fever gets to me. Yes, I've tried to fix it and no, it's not working right now. Also, before we get started, yes, this looks like the Kodama Obsidian because this would have been the original Kodama Obsidian. But as I understand it and as documents tell me, I believe that, per documents, Kodama owed Furlingtech $50,000. Kodama never paid Furlingtech, so Furlingtech took back the design and released it as the YAN, and that's why Kodama is having to do what they do right now, and that's why, if you're a backer, you don't have a Kodama Obsidian. Enough about that. Let's talk about the machine in front of us. This is the Furlingtech YAN. It's a 120 millimeter cubed print volume. It's PLA only. It does have a removable print bed. It has an enclosed extruder, a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. It'll go 60 to 80 millimeters per second, no problem. The extruder is over here, and it's got a PTFE tube here, which means it is a Bowden system that reduces the weight on the print head, and it's not too long. It's not too long, so, and at 1.75 millimeter filament, it's not too bad. It was able to push filament through pretty well. It does have a hex tiled print surface, so everything prints with a raft by default. The raft takes up the space that the hex tile spacing provides, and would typically, hopefully, fingers crossedly, provide you with a decent amount of adhesion. But as you can tell, it doesn't. Originally, I hadn't planned on doing a review, but the printer died. Press F and to pay respects, right? It's dead. Look at this. That's something else. It was in the garage. The garage was 65 degrees Fahrenheit and it was printing. I guess the raft lifted and then all of the filament consumed the print head. We'll talk about the failures here in just a little bit. So let's move this to the side and let's talk about the models that are in front of us. Don't worry, we'll get to that epic failure in just a moment. Like I said, because of the build surface, everything prints with a raft. You get a raft for this, a raft for that, and it can work well when a raft releases from the bottom of a model that, okay, that's decent right there. You can also get situations where the raft does not release okay, such as that. Oh, poor Stegosaurus, Brontosaurus,
Triceratops!
whatever you are. The raft did not come off this model, and that's unfortunate. The detail that this printer can achieve is downright scary. Look at this fox-looking thing. I believe we would call that a fox. The layering is wonderful, and the fox itself, well, it's a great model. I actually tweeted a photo of this, I believe, just mouth agape, wide-eyed, saying, "What? How was this possible?" Look at that overhang. Look at it. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. So the printer can produce great results. If you do print in place things like the Snow Labs Penguin, the head does rotate. Rotates just fine. The tail moves, the legs move. Problem is, again, with the rafts, the raft on the bottom had to be scraped off pretty well, and the unfortunate Penguin here, it still works, but it's not the best. Furlingtech includes an app that allows you to upload prints from the app. The app communicates with a cloud backend that has a plethora of models stolen from Thingiverse and not attributed correctly. What? You'll find all sorts of models within their cloud that are not correct or not titled right, or, for example, there's a baby Groot that's titled Bruce.
I am Batman.
When you browse and find the model you want, you can wirelessly send it to the printer. It'll also take an SD card and a USB stick. No joke, I used my Robo thumb drive. Once on the printer, you can take photos or start video recordings from the integrated camera. The integrated camera works really well. It's not a high frame rate, but it does get the job done. The touchscreen is very responsive, and the LCD that they're using looks bright and can be used in bright rooms such as this. It's essentially a PLA-only printer or PLA temperature type printer, and they included this spool of PLA. It's got a little thing at the top that the filament can go through, so as it unwinds, it keeps it from going back onto the spool. That's kind of cool. I also used this blue filament. This is Repcord Blue. Repcord Blue. I also used, no joke, Kodama translucent PLA. You're not limited to printing through the app. You can use a Cura profile that was provided, and it prints at 0.15 millimeter layers by default. That's how you get stuff like this penguin or this helical gear. That's not too bad. When printing from the app, it uses default settings, so they're almost pre-sliced in order to make the printing experience well. The problem you run into, supports don't always come off easily. Ow! I bent my fingernail back. Stupid model. So as you can tell, it's a functional machine. It does a decent job. Most of the models look great. Adhesion is an issue. The supports don't come off as easy, and you might bend your fingernail back if you're not careful. Detail is there, but what's the big issue here? This is the issue right here. I think the printer does a great job, but the build surface isn't adequate, and I don't think it holds on to the filament well enough. And in this case, if that happens, the filament can end up completely destroying your machine. So in the end, I think that while this machine can do a good job, the design itself lends itself to catastrophic printer failures that will require greater than average technical knowledge to fix. The hot end is enclosed, so how do I get to it? I have to disassemble a lot just to get to this, and there's a good chance any small wires are going to be broken. No, this isn't a failure specific to this machine. You can get globbed on plastic all around the hot end of a lot of different machines. I'm just saying that with a design like this, it sure makes it a little extra difficult to fix it. So if this was your only machine, you would turn it off, you would set it aside, and then you would go pour a bowl of Cheerios and eat those while you contemplate your next move. I will communicate with Furlingtech. I'll get this fixed because I'd like to still print with it. It prints well, but I don't know what's gonna happen from here. There you go. There's my look at the Furlingtech YAN 3D printer. It's interesting. It does a decent job. It could be right for you, but I don't think it's right for everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to hug each other more. I love you guys, as always. High five.
2 hours later.
What? You didn't think I was gonna leave you right there, did you? I have a giant mess right here. There's a giant mess right inside this printer. I got this part out. Look at that. I got that out. I got it out. So let's preheat. I have no idea what's gonna happen. Jeez. Oh, it's like crispy. Oh, look at that. Jeez. Oh. Small wires right there. We gotta be kind of careful. There we go. Oh, it looks like macaroni and cheese. Wow, it is all up in there. Okay, let me get, okay, hold on. Point, it might work. It doesn't have a blower fan because that got just ripped off. Or it has a fan. It looks like it just can't direct it. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. There's that last piece. Look at that. Oh. Okay, so this is a giant pile of just filament. Look at that. That is amazing. Now we need to clean this up. That had the little plasticky shroud that went around there, and this directs the airflow down. So I think it was a way of protecting the air, the heater block. This goes in. So these plastic pieces have been bent a little bit because of forces beyond my control. So I'm gonna put this in. All right, tighten that down. It should stay in, maybe. Let's get this right side, and what do you say we what do you say we try to start a print? So it stands that there's filament still in there, and that filament could technically drip down and leak and whatnot, but it may still print. It smells like, or it smells like a hot dog with a bunch of plastic on it. That's what it smells like. Okay, it's going. Here, look, you can see it's spinning the spool. Anything? Anything? Yes. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, we loaded some filament. Looks really blue. It's got some icky stuff at the end, and that's okay. So now what we need to do is print something, and I'll just, I'll pick a quick thing. I'll pick a ring. I'll pick a ring. So look at this. This is a tiny little ring right there. It's on your finger. It's a ring. There we go. It's a pinky ring finger. So I'm gonna print that. Okay. Oh, okay, an end stop got messed up now because of the bar. Oh, okay. I gotta fix that. Be right back. Holy crap, I got it. I think. That end stop, it could see some, it needs some TLC. Just say that. It's not held on by screws. There's these little plastic posts that go into other plastic pieces that hold it into place. I guess not everything can be metal components. Let's see if it prints. No badness. Okay, we're printing a freaking ring. One of the things I was telling you about was there's still Chinese in the English app, and you can see right there, those two notifications when a print starts or when a print ends, that's what it looks like. I don't know what it says. That's okay, that's just a translation, a language string within the app that can be fixed. But it's heating up the nozzle. Here we go. I wanna see some blue filament. Oh, the head's so big. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's laying it down. It's really going. No way, it's really going. Okay. Still going. I just want to talk to you for a moment because nutrition is important. It's not always Red Bull and Milk Duds that do a body good. I highly suggest, if you can, eat yourself a tasty apple. What I've been doing lately is when I start a print or if I go downstairs, I just throw a couple apple slices into my face. I'm good to go. See you when it's done.
Eventually.
The print is done! Yay! That's it right there. That is the print. You can tell that there's a little bit of burnt yellow orange crap in there because there's melting off of the heater block and all that stuff in there and then falling down. So we get some of that in the print. Let's see. Okay. That's not too shabby. That's not too shabby. That came off of this. The thing that just had that giant blob of filament around the hot end. I can't believe it. And I mean, this pile of filament is what it was encased around. All of this stuff. Let's see, let's get the raft out of the way. This giant pile of filament is what had to be removed. And we did. And then we printed a ring. So the white one was before our work. The blue one was after our work. And they look pretty similar to me. I'm torn. That was a massive failure, right? That was a massive failure by the printer. But it wasn't the printer's fault for the type of failure because other printers experience those type of failures. I don't like that build plate solution. I think if I lower the nozzle, or if I shrink the distance between the nozzle and the build plate, that should squish it down into those places. Maybe I could lightly sand it and that'll give it some more grip. Yeah, because it's really smooth. Yeah, a light sand might do it. I'm really happy with this. I gave up. Originally, I gave up and I thought that the printer was dead. I assumed it was dead. And then I wrote it off. I actually started rendering the video, sending it off to Sean, but I ate a sandwich. I had some lunch. You don't want to do heavy duty thinking without some energy in your belly. I did some thinking and I was able to essentially resurrect this machine. It's good to go. I can print with it, albeit I'll get some burnt little yellow crispies in it every once in a while. But if you take anything from this video, take that this machine, A, is decent, does a good job, B, it can experience horrible failures, and C, never give up. oh my gosh, there's a lot of times that I will see people post failures on their prints, on Reddit, on Twitter, on Facebook, on whatever, and they will have given up and they won't try to fix it, or they'll just order new parts. And it's like, I had to watch out for the little wires in there, sure, but I got my heater gun and my needle nose pliers and my flush cutters and whatever these are called, and a little screwdriver and some of these and my hex keys, and I went to town. Well, now I can bid you adieu. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're not. Ring that bell to be notified of when crazy stuff like this gets uploaded to the channel. And then beyond all that, don't forget to hug each other more. I still love you guys, as always. Now, really, truly, high five.